Happy 2025, everybody, followed by some intro shenanigans, some goofing off, maybe a lot of escapades. But given the situation of things and how they transpired yesterday, I wish I could say that, but I can't. For those of you who don't know, Pistons guard Jaden Ivey, the same Pistons that are my hometown team, probably my favorite team by default, suffered a grisly, horrific injury on the court.
The rim. Tapped outside. Jaden Ivey went for it. Blocked down from behind inadvertently by Cole Anthony, but Jaden Ivey's in a lot of pain.
And this is probably the worst injury I've seen in recent memory and quite some many years. I would say it reminds me of when Gordon Hayward got injured and the players' resulting reactions to how bad that was makes me think of Paul George as just too graphic to even show injury. This very much makes me think of those very unfortunate situations and mirrors them hauntingly so. If you hear my little brother in the background, Fortnite again. You see a Sore Thompson crying for the state of Jaden Ivey and what this could potentially mean for not only his career, but everybody else's ability to be able to play alongside him. You see the man that caused his injury, Cole Anthony from the Magic. He didn't do it on purpose. This is one of those freak accident occurrences that are just devastating to a professional athlete as well as their families because this is their livelihoods. And just thinking of how something like this can happen at any time. And this can happen to anybody in all walks of life. You just don't know when you could walk somewhere and then hurt yourself, and then it could lead to something else serious. But sports is a vehicle in which these things can occur far more frequently. You're being put in hyper-physical scenarios where possibilities like this only increase with what it is you're doing. And really thinking about how if something like this were to have occurred 20-something years ago, 30-some years ago, we could very well be talking about the end of a career only a few years into the NBA. Take a lot of solace in the fact that technology, nutrition has gotten a lot better to where the likelihood of such a dismal fate occurring has been mitigated. And if something like this does happen, it won't mean the end for someone so soon into their career. It has now been announced that Jaden Ivey suffered a broken fibula in his left leg, and he will be missing a majority of the rest of the season, if not all of it, though there exists hope in him returning for a potential Pistons postseason. But given the way things are, even if that were to take place, if we were to be lucky enough to make it to a juncture like that, I would still not risk anything and keep him out just because it looked really bad. It looked as bad as it turned out to be. Not only that, the playoffs are a completely different animal than the regular season. The physicality goes through the roof. There's a lot more at risk. There's a lot more at stake. And to have to play that hard out the gate coming back off of an injury like that, I don't know if it was like 2-3 years into the development of this team. If this is a potential finals, and yeah, I would consider it. I would, of course, ask him if he was okay with it if I was someone in charge of the team or the coach, being JB Bickerstaff or general manager, but not for this. It would hurt so much about this is that Jaden Ivey has been blossoming this year. This game alone for Jaden Ivey, it was an electric game for him. He had 72% shooting from the field. I think at about that point, he had 22 points. He was 5 of 6 from three-point range. He was efficient, above efficient. And you pair a player in him alongside Cade, who's had a remarkable, amazing year, to see them both step up their game, to see them both evolve as players and get better and better. And the team as well, they feel that, they see that, and they feed off of that. And they've gotten better looks. They've gotten better opportunities that sure as hell didn't exist last year and the year before. And now to be set back like this, as not only a Pistons fan, but just a fan of sports in general, everybody can relate to feeling just heartbroken. You get crushed seeing something like that. And just imagine how the teammates feel, and just seeing how Asura Thompson's reaction. And and my heart also goes out to the Orlando Magic too, because you guys have suffered probably the worst injuries this year, excluding maybe the 76ers, or and just the hopes of being able to go to the mountaintop and to continue upwards progression. Paolo Banchero missing, I think, Mo Wagner, and all of it like one after another after another. Some teams just have these years where nothing goes right and it's just Murphy's Law. Real shame. It was a great game, but this just overshadows it, so it's hard to really talk about the rest of how some things went down. And then it's up to you as a professional to reconfigure and get back into the mode of competitive play. And you gotta just see that adversity, and then you got to just hunker down and say, all right, we got to keep going, we got to do this for him. And that can make or break some teams. And to see the Pistons still pull out a win under those conditions, given what they saw, and the entire arena, that's real great. I'm really happy for the team. And it's just still sad. It's sad. But I do my well wishes, prayers, and undying sympathies for Jaden Ivey, his family, and any other player who suffers something like this. We don't ever want injuries, like, ever, but it's just something that's inevitable. And you just really hope it isn't you, or it isn't your team it's happening to, but you sure as hell don't like it happening to someone else or another team as well, just being an avid sports fan. This should also be a time where not only fans are appreciative of the now, despite my many qualms and complaints of the now in NBA's landscape, but also players, because back in the day something like this happens, and not only in the NBA but multiple other sports, your body is your paycheck. Your body is the means through which you accrue generational wealth. And if something happens, not just the player will suffer, their families, everyone connected to them as well, businesses, local businesses tied to that player, or if it's a star player especially, a lot of things can go under. I didn't want to really go into the new year talking about some of this like that, but it puts a damper on things. And just as a Pistons fan too, it's just really, it's heartbreaking to see, but I can only hope for his speedy recovery and wish that he gets the help that he needs and dealing with the injury, and that he's able to come back as good, if not better. So tell me what you guys thought about this game, if you managed to see it. What are some injuries that have affected you in a certain way, be it either in your own personal life or you've seen in a team? Comment below, let me know. Like and subscribe if you are new. Thank you all so very much for watching. Happy New Year to everyone. And I will see you on the next one.